A very good evening to everybody. As promised, every day, 10 o'clock, I'm here with some tips on IELTS. So today, we'll be working on speaking of IELTS. So let me share my screen so I can take you there. And without wasting much of time, we'll start with our work. A very good evening to everybody. As promised. First of all, a very warm welcome to everybody. And I hope I'm loud and clear and I'm easily audible because this class is going to be based on ideas mainly. Okay, so now what is the class about? Let me explain it to you. The class is about predicted speaking frames. So in the month of September and in the month of October, these are the predictions which are going to come in speaking. Now, these are predictions. This is not for sure. It's prediction. Prediction means there's a very high chance for these things to come. And how do we get these predictions? We get it from different sources and we compile them together. Every week, our research and design team is taking out this. So that is what we do with it. Okay, so now we are going to work on these, which is a very, very interesting thing. So do not worry. Keep on relaxing, chill out, and we'll start working on this. Okay. Let me clear this first. Okay, and move ahead. Okay, if you haven't followed us on social media, it's my request to follow us so that whenever I'm online, that is every day at 10 o'clock, you are able to see. And the time limit is just 10 to 10:30, half an hour every day. There is one tip, just one tip that I'm doing on a daily basis. So if you compile the tips together, it'll form the whole session. In this blog, I have written a lot of stuff. Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, very nice social media handles. All the information is available here. And that is my WhatsApp number. So in case you want some help, you can always give us a call or send us a message. I am going to be teaching you predicted frames now. Now, what are predicted frames which are going to come in the real exam? Okay, now, if you want these predicted frames, I am going to teach you one by one. I'm going to take it out and teach it to you. But if you want the full printout of this, you can simply send speaking predicted frames, that's it, to this number. Just send it to this number. They will know what to send because they have a lot of material and they will know what to send you. So this is the number and you have to send this message, speaking predicted frames. Okay. And all of you who are our students, who are our existing students, for our existing students, if you go to the download section on the left side, you will see predicted speaking frames. And the date is on Monday. The date is Monday. Okay, so I'm going to do the work of Monday today only. All right. So now what exactly is speaking? Let us figure it out. What is speaking and how the speaking is taken. So now in speaking, there are three parts. There is part 1, there is part 2, and there is part 3. Now, what is part 1, part 2, and part 3? Part 1 is basically introduction. Part 2 is a cue card. Part 3 is discussion. Now, discussion on what? Discussion on the cue card topic. So this is the overall structure of the speaking. Now, what are the band score? The band score are out of 9. Out of 9, the band score is there. Now, what all is checked in speaking? First of all, they check your flow of the speech. It is called as fluency. Now, if you are fluent and if you are logical, they call it as coherence. Fluency and coherence. That is the first parameter, fluency and coherence. That's the first parameter that is checked. Now, what is the second parameter that is checked? Pronunciation, how well you can pronounce words. So I write it pronunciation. Third is your grammar. So let's call it GRA. It's called grammatical range and accuracy. So I'm just writing it GRA. And the last fourth one is called as vocabulary, which is called as lexical resource. So now I'm going to be working on all these 4 parameters for your predicted frames, so that whenever that frame comes, you know what is to be talked about and how is it to be talked about. So we are just going to cover that. Okay. Just to tell you a couple of things, I'd like to tell you that the speaking which is coming today in the real exam is not that difficult. Okay. It is not, don't get too confused that I'm super confused and the speaking is going to be terrible. Nothing of that kind. It is not that difficult at all. So you have to be very natural, like speak as naturally as possible. That is the only thing that is expected out of you. Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen and we'll immediately start the work of your predicted frames. Okay. Now this is my PDF file. So if you look at the PDF file, so Weber's is mentioned here, the phone number, toll-free number is here, that is our office address. And on 26th September 2022, it will be released in all our campuses. In all our campuses, it will be released. A printout will be given to all the students, but I am doing this beforehand with you. Okay, so now we have got 4 frames here. So we'll discuss all the 4 frames. The first frame is here called as concentration. This is frame 1, part 1, concentration. This is the cue card of the frame. And below this is the discussion of the frame. So let us consider this slowly and gradually. What does it mean and how are we going to handle this? Okay, my first question here, I'm going to give you all the answers. So you can just watch this video again and again so you get all the answers. My first question here is, what factors help you to stay focused on your work? What factors help you stay focused on your work? Now, the first factor which I feel is called as silence. If there is silence, I am definitely focused on my work. But if there is no silence, it is very difficult to concentrate. Very difficult to concentrate. My second thing is a proper planning. So if there is a proper planning of my work, because here they've asked you factors, S. So we have to speak plural. So silence and planning are 2 of my factors which help me stay focused on my work. Next, why is it important for you to stay attentive all the time? Okay, so it is very important for us to stay alert or attentive all the time. What is the reason for that? The reason for that is, in case we are not alert or attentive, today it's a highly competitive era. So a lot of people, a lot of our peers, a lot of our competitors are definitely going to overtake us. So it is extremely important to stay attentive all the time. Have you ever got distracted while performing any task in school or college? You can definitely say yes, that you got distracted, because it is not possible to say no here. Nobody is that kind of a person who can say, no, I never got distracted. You can say, yes, I got distracted. Don't worry, give an honest answer, because then the conversation will move ahead. So you can say that there was once a PT meet going on, or once there was a sport meet going on, and we were performing an examination, and outside there was a lot of noise. So everybody was getting very distracted. So that was the time I was performing a task of giving the examination, and I got distracted. What problems have you faced while not being focused? Okay. So in the school, the problems that people face when not being focused is low score. If you're not focused, the score goes down. And definitely another thing that goes down with it is motivation. So if you're not focused, the motivation also goes down. If you have seen in reading, if you're not focused, the motivation goes down. That is very, very tricky. Okay. Now here, no, again, see this, what problems? You always have to see if it is singular or plural. Problems, that is the question here. Do you think that you have become more focused person now than the past time? Okay, so you can definitely say, as in when you keep on aging, your focus level definitely becomes better. Why it becomes better? Because you become more career oriented. First, you're very carefree and careless, but now you've become very career oriented. So this was my frame 1. I have covered this frame 1 on concentration. This has been covered. So this, I'll show you some more things here. Let us go to frame 2. In frame 2, we are going to talk, I'm just going to cover the first introductory parts of everything. So let us see what the introductory part is there. It is based on travel. Travel. Does traveling help in relaxing the mind? If yes, explain the benefits. Now again, remember, benefits are plural. I have to say two things here. Relaxing the mind. First of all, it de-stresses you. Why does it de-stress you? Because the air is good. You are traveling and there's no pollution. If you're traveling out of the city, so it de-stresses you. And the focus on the work is also not there. So you're just focusing on a holiday. Probably you are traveling for a holiday. Only then it's relaxing the mind. Otherwise, it is not relaxing for mind. Because traveling, if you're in Delhi and if you're traveling in Delhi, it does not relax your mind. Trust me. It is the nightmare. It's a total nightmare in Delhi to travel. I'm in Delhi right now. And yesterday was so much of rain here. So much of rain. You just cannot imagine. And I was in the traffic jam, caught up in the traffic jam. It took me 2.5 hours to cover 1 kilometer, just 1 kilometer. It took me 2.5 hours because there was so much of water logging, so much of traffic. I have never seen so much of traffic in my life. And the cars were like, full of water till the glass, till the window of the car. They were full of water. It was that bad. So then again, a relaxing, I'd say I'll put up a small thing here while going for a holiday or while going out of the city. That is very relaxing. But if you say staying in the city and getting relaxed, that surely is not relaxing. So you can speak about the benefits. You get de-stressed, and definitely you tend to see a lot. You tend to know things a lot. That benefits you. Number 1, de-stresses you. Number 2, gives you knowledge too. Now, the next thing is, do you travel enough these days than in the past time? So definitely, yes. If you compare to your childhood, we are all traveling today. We travel to our work, we travel to our education place, we travel to a school and college, everywhere we travel. So traveling has become, much more as compared to in the past. Okay. How do you manage time from your hectic schedule for traveling? Okay. Now this traveling typically means that we are traveling to some place outside. How do you manage your time from hectic schedule to travel? So you have to say that you can go on weekends or whenever there's a holiday, and you make it sure that after 6 months you take some break. It chills out your mind, it relaxes your mind. What sort of transport modes do you prefer to use for long travel? Okay, now if it's a long travel, now again, we need to see one more thing. He is talking about transport modes. S is there, S. Okay, so here we can long distance, it is talking about long distance. So we have 2 modes of travel for the long distance. One is by air. Definitely, if you're going out of the country, you cannot go on a auto rickshaw. By air. And then you can obviously say by train. And if the distance is short, you can always say it's by car, by train, by air or by train. Modes of travel. Remember, transport modes. My next question is, what will be your next travel destination and with whom you plan to go? So, this one, let's be a little realistic and let's connect it to our IELTS topic. So you say after the exam, you plan to go to a hill station. Right now, it is very, very warm and very pleasant. So it's going to be very cold in 1 month's time. So after completing my examination, I plan to go with my friends to a hill station. Okay. So because next year you're going to plan to go abroad. So this year you'll plan for a holiday. Say for 5 days, I plan to go to a hill station. You can say Simla or Mussoorie or Nainital, whatever comes to your mind, you can say that. So this is my second frame is over. Let's go to our third frame. My third frame is here. It is on environment protection. Again, this is not easy, environment protection. So let us see, what are your views about the idea of protecting the environment? Now, again, what are your views? We have to give 2 views at least. My first view is here. My first view is that it is very important. It will save the flora and fauna. A very nice word, you can say flora and fauna. Flora and fauna means plants and animals. My second thing is it will decrease the global warming. It will definitely decrease. It won't eliminate global warming. It will decrease global warming. So let me call global warming as GW, global warming. What efforts, again, this is a plural, do you make to reduce the level of pollution in daily life? You know, whenever this kind of a thing comes, I always talk about 3 R's. And I think you all know what 3 R's are. 3 R's are reducing, reusing, and recycling. So they are the things that we do in our daily life to reduce the level of pollution in our daily life. Have you ever participated in any saving environmental project? Now, don't say no here. If you say no here, the examiner cannot continue further. Okay, he has to change the topic. So yeah, say yes, I have participated in saving environment project. Like you can plant trees, or you can collect plastic, and you can dispose it off properly, right? So you can talk about saving environment project like this. Do people in your area plant trees in the surroundings? Now see, plant trees, if you said plant trees here, the next question is about plant trees. It will automatically come. So we are talking about, do the people in your area plant trees in the surroundings? So yes, definitely you're going to say yes. People in our area are very environment friendly. So they plant a lot of trees around our area. They plant the trees on the pavements, in the backyards of the houses, in the front yard of the houses, wherever they get extra space, whenever there is an earth which is there, which is lying vacant or which is getting polluted, they clean that area and they plant a tree or plant a plant there. What changes have you found in the level of pollution from the past till now? Definitely, it has increased dramatically. It has increased a lot. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about, because, you know, otherwise that's the truth. It has increased a lot. And what changes, you know, again, not change, which have you found in the level of pollution? So it has increased a lot. Here you can talk about particulate matter. So let me write down the spellings of particulate matter. Particulate matter. So you can say the particulate matter has increased a lot in our environment. The pollution has increased. This level of smoke, the level of carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and other noxious gases. So let me write down a very nice word for you called as noxious, N-O-X-I-O-U-S, noxious gases. Noxious gases has increased, noxious gases, okay? So this was frame number 3. So I'm going to go to frame number 4 now. Here is frame number 4. So let me just highlight it first for you. This is my frame number 4, and I'm going to cover the introductory part. Remember one thing, in the introductory part, you should always speak 2 to 3 sentences. 2 to 3 sentences. You should always talk on the frame, which is the starting part, the introductory part, 2 to 3 sentences on that. Okay. Do you think that you are leading a healthy lifestyle? So here you can say yes or no, whatever lifestyle you need. I don't know, but I would definitely say yes. If this question is asked to me, I'll say yes. Because if I say no, a lot of crazy questions are going to come. Okay, so I'll say I definitely follow a healthy lifestyle. I work out every day. I eat healthy food. I go to bed early. I use less screens. I exercise daily. So you can talk about this. How do you make sure that you are following a healthy diet? Okay, so here you can say that you eat at least 2 meals at home. So let me write it down. So you eat 2 meals a day. 2 meals from home kitchen. That is very, very healthy. Okay, so that is the way you have to keep healthy. And if you're traveling out, you can get a parcel, parcel of food from home. So you can say, get the food packed. You take packed food from home. So these are 2 ideas that there. Is social media influence? Okay, no, the third one is this one. My mistake, I'm sorry. Third one is this one. Is there a specific diet plan you follow to keep yourself fit? Again, I'm not here to preach on a diet plan. Whatever diet plan you use, you talk about that. Okay, so here you can talk about, yeah, I definitely use the diet plan, which has all the ingredients like proteins, this is the best way to talk. Carbs, carbohydrates, and I think you all know what are carbohydrates and carbs. So it contains fats. Fats are also essential. It contains fiber and minerals. Fiber, and it contains minerals and vitamins. Minerals and vitamins. So this is a healthy diet plan. Okay, so is social media influencing your healthy habits? Definitely, yes. Social media influences us a lot. It suggests us what to eat, how to cook food at home. It gives us a lot of recipes today. So social media is influencing our lifestyle. Do you feel that you are healthier now than in the past? So you can say whatever you feel. You can say yes or no, whatever you have an idea. So I would say yes. So you can say, in my childhood, I was quite healthy and I had a lot of baby fat. But right now, after eating the right amount of diet and exercising a lot, I have reduced it. I work out regularly and I feel much fitter, much healthier as compared to what I was in the past. So this completes our basic idea of all the 4 frames. So now let's cover the cue cards. Okay. So here we are on the cue cards. Now for the cue cards, again, remember one thing, you should be speaking till the examiner stops you. So let me cover the cue card with you. Okay, now how the cue card is to be spoken. Now remember this. In the part 1, you should always speak 2 to 3 sentences answer, which is extremely important. If I talk about part 2, in part 2, you should try to answer all the questions. Remember, the answers of the question should be in a sequence. Now, for example, this is the first question, second, third, and fourth. Answer them in the same way. Don't answer randomly first, third, fourth, second. No, not like that. It has to be first, second, third, and fourth. That is the way you answer. Now, if you answer all the questions, the examiner will tell you to stop. Otherwise, if 2 minutes is over, then also he'll tell you to stop. So basically, till the examiner stops you, keep on speaking, right? Keep on speaking and make it sure you cover all the 4 questions. So let us do this. Okay. So let's see here. This one is here. Describe a time you saw something interesting on social media. When was it? Where did you see it? What did you see? And explain why was it interesting. Here you can talk about some trend which is going on, some latest trend which is going on. I recently saw a trend on a Punjabi dance song, Kala Chashma. So, that you can always say this, that there's a trend going on and it is done by a group called Quick Style and they are doing it. And that is a very interesting thing because a lot of people are copying it and getting huge amount of views. So now you can cover all these ideas based on this particular idea on social media. Okay, let's do frame number 2, the cue card on frame number 2. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you vocabulary also right now. Okay, here you are on cue card number 2. This is cue card number 2. Describe an occasion when you were not allowed to use the mobile phone. So here you can talk about an examination. So you went for a particular examination and you were not allowed to use the phone. When was it? Where was it? Why were you not allowed to use the phone? And how did you feel about it? So you felt bad initially that some kind of an urgent call which is going to come, you cannot take it. But it was again good later on because otherwise if everybody is using the mobile phone, then nobody will be able to do the examination. So then you later on felt good about it. Okay. So let's do the third cue card now. My third cue card is, again, a very tricky cue card. Describe an argument two of your friends had an argument. It has to be only one argument. You cannot say 2 arguments. When it happened, what was it about? How was it solved? And how do you feel about it? So you definitely feel good about it. And when was it? Say last month. What was it about? Here you're going to talk about an argument. So you can say you had an argument on iPhone or Samsung, which is better. Okay. So there was an argument on both. So you can say that you were on the side of an iPhone and your friend was on the side of the Samsung. So then you can make up a story. And remember, cue cards are all stories. They're all stories. Okay. Let's go to our next frame and the 4th cue card. And the fourth cue card here is describe a person who solved the problem in a smart way. You should say who the person is, what the problem was, how did he solve it, and what do you think she or she did it in a smart way. Okay, so now you have to figure out, say your teacher, you were facing a problem in mathematics. So the teacher told you something called as Vedic maths. That is very smart maths, Vedic maths. And you solved the problem using Vedic maths, which was very interesting for you. And immediately the problem got solved. So now it was very smart because it's consumed less time. And it was smart because it was easy to understand. And you could apply that easily in the examination. So that is called as Vedic maths, a person who solved this problem in a smart way. And the person who was there, he was your mathematics teacher. Okay. All right. So let us go up and see part 3 now. Here you are, part 3. Now, what is part 3? This is part 3. This is part 3. What pushes people to use social media the most? A very interesting thing. Now, in part 3, let us talk about this first. Okay. Now, again, let's recap. Part 1, part 2, part 3. In part 1, you should speak 2 to 3 sentences. In part 2, till the examiner stops you. And in part 3, 3 to 4 sentences. That should be the length. Okay, because this is discussion. If you do not discuss, the examiner will not be able to ask you the next question. And remember one thing, today, all the questions which are asked from your answers. So you give an answer and the examiner will form the next question on that answer. But if you give a very small, very compact answer, the examiner cannot pick it up. The examiner cannot pick it up. Okay, so let's see these. What pushes people to use social media the most? Okay, so I think peer pressure. Peer pressure is the one, it pushes the people to use social media more. And second thing, I feel it is recognition, because social media is very interactive. It is very, very interactive. So I'll cover this like this. I'll say that it is peer, let me change the color. So I'll say it is peer pressure, and I'll say recognition. So if you put something on the social media, you see it again and again, how many people have seen it, how many people have liked it, that kind of a thing. So these are the things that, it pushes people to use social media a lot. What kind of things are popular on social media? Well, the thing which is popular on social media, number 1 is fashion, number 2 is food, number 3 is dance. Basically, every kind of entertainment is popular on social media because people want to get entertained. They don't want to go there just for the heck of going there. They want to get entertained and learn something new. So entertainment and education, these are the 2 things that people go on social media for. Next, what are the advantages and disadvantages? Let me mark this, question number 3. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using social media for teenagers? Now, he has asked advantages, 2 advantages, disadvantages, 2 disadvantages. So the first advantage of using social media, it is for the relaxation. So they get very chilled out whenever they are relaxing. They feel very relaxed on watching social media. And the second advantage is they become very competitive. Competitive means the knowledge increases. Competitive, T-I-V-E. They become very competitive. And the disadvantage, I think you know all the disadvantages. They waste a lot of time and it is not good for health. For eyesight also, it is not very good. Next, is it a good way for people to make new friends in this modern way? Well, that is one of the ways to make friends. And I think that there's nothing wrong in it. But yeah, you should be very aware before disclosing your personal identification, because you don't know what the kind of person is. Until you build up a trust factor, do not disclose information. Do not tell who you are, where do you live. You don't know the next person. So you have to be cautious while making a friend this way, but definitely it's not a bad way because you can make friends all over the globe. Next, what are the views of old generation people about being active on social networking sites? I think the old people just do not like it. They hate Instagram and they hate the teenagers sitting on social media. And they are right also in one manner, because they don't talk to their grandparents, they don't talk to the parents. So that is one thing that the older generation is getting isolated from the younger generation. So they don't like it much. So let's go to frame number 2. In frame number 2, my question is, what is the role of technological gadgets in our life? So here you can talk about they increase your speed. Technological gadgets definitely increase your speed. They increase your efficiency. And apart from that, you can do multitasking, or you call this multitasking. You can do multitasking using technological gadgets. What few places restrict people to have access to such gadgets? Well, if you go to a religious place, you definitely cannot have access to these gadgets. Again, it's talking about places. And second is, if you go to a public place, you definitely don't have access to these gadgets, religious place or public places. How the lives of people have changed after the arrival of technology on day-to-day basis. I feel the life has become much faster. People don't have much time. They can do much more work in a very small amount of time. The life has totally changed. First, it used to be just one task a day, cleaning the whole house. Today, you can clean the house, make the food, wash the clothes, do everything together. Is over-dependence on these gadgets made people less creative? I would definitely go for saying both the sides. Yes, on one side, yes and no. Because yes, that the basic work which is there, it is all being done by the gadgets. But no, because then they can think more beyond that. Like if your clothes are being washed by the washing machine, definitely you can think something more creative with your brain. What consequences families may face if everyone prioritizes mobile phones over spending time with family? I think that's not a good thing. Spending time with the family is very important. That is called as the family time or the bonding time. That bonding time is extremely important because that is the time when you build up the relations with the family. In case everybody's on the mobile phone, then you don't tend to talk. If you don't tend to talk, your problems are not sorted. Your issues are not sorted. And if you have a fight in the family, it will never get resolved. So this is not a good thing. So let us go to the next frame. Discussion questions, frame number 3. In frame number 3, these are the discussion questions that are going to be, what do family members generally argue about? Okay. The family members generally argue about the career of the children. They argue about spending money, how to spend money, where to spend money, to buy something new. They argue about celebrations, how to celebrate. For example, if a wedding is coming, there would be argument in the house what to do and what not to do. That's a discussion. That's the argument which goes on. Is it easier for you to have arguments with your friends or your family members? So mostly the argument with the friends is much easier as compared to the family members, because in family members, a factor of respect comes in. So then you cannot argue. Do you think people should change the way they think when they have arguments? Well, a person should be flexible when they have arguments, because you have to respect the other person's point of view. If you do not respect the other person's point of view, then the argument will become very heated and you will lose the control. And if you lose the control, you might lose a good friend, because when the tempers run hot, it's not a good thing. Argument should always be done with a very cool mind, with a very controlled mind. If two people argue, do you think a third person should be involved in the settlement? Well, I believe the first thing that people should do whenever they argue is to settle amongst their own self. But if they're unable to do it, then they should resolve with the help of a third party. Otherwise, the things will become very bad. Why do you think people are stubborn and unwilling to change? Well, there's a reason. People are stubborn for a reason, because people don't want to change. They feel if they change themselves, they're going to lose the game of life. But that doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. You know, people should be willing to change at every point in their life. Otherwise, they'll become very stubborn and they'll become isolated. Nobody will talk to them. You have to be flexible. For example, let's take the case of social media. If you're not on social media and you don't want to be on social media, you will be left out. If you look at your grandparents and your parents, they have been left out from the main society. But if you look at your parents, they are on social media today. They are on WhatsApp. They're coming back to the society. Okay, so it's very important. People should be willing to change. And they're stubborn because they have been doing that work for a very long time. They don't want to change. Let's do a last part before we do the vocabulary. And the last part here is, do you think children are born smart, or did they learn to become smart? Well, I think that in some cases we have, very smart kid called as prodigies. Child prodigies are there. Okay, so they are smart kids. They are genetically smart. But if you talk about some other people, they have to be sharpened to become smart. Why is there pressure on students to become versatile by society? The society is very competitive today. And if you are versatile, what is the meaning of versatile? Versatile means able to go any way, able to become anything. So that is called versatility. So if you're versatile, then it's very easy for you to adapt to the society. But if you're not versatile, you're very stubborn, then the society is going to crush you. What factors help children to become smart in the school? So number one is the parent involvement. If the parents are involved in the child's education, it becomes very helpful for the child to become smarter. Secondly, a good school. A good school makes the child very smart. A good school, and definitely friends. If the friends are good, the child automatically becomes smart. But if you have bad friends, the child will definitely become bad, that's for sure. Why are some people well-rounded and others only good at one thing? This means that why some people can do everything very well, while other people can do only one thing at a time, one good thing at a time. So I think it depends from person to person. If a person is multitasking, he can do many good things at the same time. But if the person is single tasking, the brain doesn't work much, then definitely he can do one good thing at a time. Secondly, some people are dedicated. Some people are very focused. They cannot change their focus. They do only one thing at a time. Like painting, they can just do painting very well. If you tell them to make food along with making a painting, they cannot do it. Can people learn new skills at any stage of their life, or to only restricted to young age people? I believe anybody can change at any time. Anybody can learn anytime. It is just the attitude. If the attitude is positive, definitely you tend to learn everything in a much better way, and at any stage of your life. It is the attitude which matters. Okay. So now we come to the last segment of our today's session, and that is going to be vocabulary. So I'm just going to tell you the words which are very useful words, and you can use them in your day-to-day speaking. But for these 4 frames, you can easily use them. Okay, so let's talk about the vocabulary part. In the frame 1, I have written vocabulary for you, and this is the vocabulary here. Vulnerability, vacillate, pals, monitored, cautious, wobbly, intrigued, fascinated, and exquisite. I suggest you open Google, figure out the meanings of these words, see the usage, if you can use them, and definitely use them. This next is here, attention span, indispensable, restricted, problematic, accessibility, give a wide berth. Next, hostile, combative, self-restrained, outspoken, hot-tempered, and irrational. Very beautiful words. Even if you remember 5 words out of them, it will increase your score. Next, proficiency, analytical skills, adaptability, resilience, spontaneous, and on toes. I would suggest you go to Google, type this word, and figure it out. What's the answer? Now, do not worry. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write down all these frames in the description below after my class is over. You can also see that from there. But I have written a PDF. I've made this PDF and given it to that WhatsApp number that I shared with you. Again, I'm going to share the details with you. So these are my details here. If you want predicted frames, you can simply call up this number, or you can message this number and you can simply write down predicted speaking frame. Okay, and they will immediately send you a predicted frame, which is very useful for you. Okay, now with this, we come to the end of our session today, and the time is exactly 10:40. My tomorrow's session will be based on reading once again, because I'm covering everything. I'm covering reading, listening, writing, and speaking on a regular rotational basis. If you have any suggestion, if you want me to cover any particular topic, I would suggest you to please write down in the chat box. It'll be extremely easy for me to figure it out. Otherwise, it's very tough for me to know what you want that I should be covering, because I'm going at my own pace. All right. So with this, we come to the end. Thank you so much. Good night.